Good evening. My name is John, and this is the Homestead Diary. I wanted to show you what was going on in regards to our irrigation system in our garden. We've got the traditional thing where you have got a single line going to this thing here up on a pole, and it's called, I don't know, whatever it's called. And it works for irrigating a large area, but it doesn't give you consistent coverage, and it's indiscriminate as to what it waters. And so if you have a field where you have every square inch is planted, then it works pretty good for that. But if you have raised beds or you want to target what it is that you're watering, it doesn't work so good. And what it ends up doing is watering as much grass as it does garden, and then you get to mow more often, which this time of year, late June, it's pretty dry. And outside the garden, we're only having to mow every couple of weeks. Inside the garden, every week, just to keep up with it. And so I'm in the process of installing drip irrigation. And I've been experimenting with a few things. And I bought a multi-pack sort of thing that says, okay, so you've got 3 or 4 different types of sprinkler heads that you can put on and to get whatever desired effect that you want. And the first one that I tried was this. And this has, 8 little holes in it, and it shoots it kind of at a spider web kind of, or a spider's legs sort of pattern around. And if you're only using, say, 10 or 15, maybe as many as 20 on a single hose, this works just fine. But you get over 20, and you've got enough loss of pressure that you get beyond the 10th or 11th, and you're getting very little coverage. And so in the beginning of the line, you're getting, I don't know, I'd say a 3-foot diameter coverage. And by the time you get to the end of the line, 30, 40 down, it's just barely trickling out. And so a lot of loss of pressure, and so very inefficient coverage. And now the next one that they have is this one. And it's on a little spike thing, and it shoots something kind of like almost like a little mushroom. And we'll walk over and take a look at one that we have operating. This sort of thing does have its place, because though it uses a lot of water, it is a bit more efficient, and it gets pretty decent coverage. And so here's what this is doing when it's on. Let's see if I can find it. Where are we? Right there. And so that's what this does. And you can adjust it, and we've got it spraying out maybe, 18 inches in diameter, something like that. Works great on the top of a potato tower where you want a lot more water, because you got to figure in a potato tower, vertical gardening, we've gone up about 4 feet here, and then all the way around we've got plants growing. And so if you were to spread this out and you're trying to do a mister sprinkler or something like that, you might use 6 or 8 of them. And so this has the same volume of water approximately coming out as those 6 or 8 misters. And so it makes sense for complete coverage on this. But what we found works the best so far in a system where you've got, maybe as many as 100 sprinkler heads on a single line is this little deal right here. And I've got the system going there as well. Let's see if we can get a shot of that. And so it's putting out much less water than the first couple of sprinklers. But because of the reduced pressure, you can put in 100 or so heads, and you still get all the pressure that you want. Now, that could be a downside, but then you just increase your watering cycle, and so you end up with the same amount of water. So instead of doing a half an hour, do an hour, and then you end up getting the amount of water that you want. And it's taking us some figuring to get this down, because we've used drip irrigation on a relatively small scale, but that was coming down a mountain off a 500-gallon tank, and we might have had 20, 25 heads on it, and there was plenty of pressure, and it was a relatively small raised bed, only about 2 foot wide. These raised beds are anywhere from 3 to 5 foot wide. You need greater coverage, and so it's definitely working better. And so I've got all these extra parts now. I've got about 20 of these, and then I've got about 100 of these things. These probably will not get used anytime soon. Maybe someday we'll hang on to them. Well, fortunately, they're not that expensive. And today I ordered, I think, another 250 of the mister heads, and it was like $60 or something. And so, you get into like 25, 30 cents a piece. and it makes it worthwhile to be able to stretch your irrigation out over a larger area, because we don't have unlimited pressure and we don't have unlimited yard hydrants, and so it's necessary to do that. But we're figuring out the ways to make it work, and hopefully I won't be mowing the lawn nearly as much if this all kind of plays out the way I expect it to. So I hope y'all have a blessed day.